Everybody, and welcome to Civ House. I'm Rob, and today we're going to be talking about the wonders that I really liked from Civ 6 that I would love to see getting themselves added back into Civ 7. Yes, there are a lot of wonders already in the game, and they are going to continue to add more, with each of the DLC, and maybe even some free ones with the different patches that will be coming up as well. But before we dive in, I'm going to ask that you guys like and subscribe so that you can become a part of our awesome Civ House community that we have here, liking the video so that it can, show us that these are the types of videos that you guys want and we can make more of them, or subscribing so that you're not, like I said, missing out on any of this great content. But let's hop into it here. I said that I wanted to kind of go through these wonders. I don't know, I would say I was going to do all of the different ages, but then I started to go through and notice that some of my favorite ones were from Antiquity, and I may end up doing, modern age, exploration age as well. But a lot of these, I feel like, at least, they hit on some good spots, but I think that there are some that could potentially fill in and hit some other ones, and I'm going to start us off with the Great Library. Now, the Great Library is honestly really important in history. It's one of the lost wonders of the world. It's one of the lost, scientific, just cultural, just every, aspect of the ancient world was there. There were thousands upon thousands of scrolls that were lost with information that we will never have again. Different, I even just different manuscripts by like Homer and different people were all kept there, and unfortunately it was burned down. But I feel like this one has been in almost every single game, and I'm a little confused as to why it's not in Civ 7. Maybe they just didn't find a good role for it, but I figured that they could add it, and it may be a little similar to Nalanda, which is much more of a scientific wonder. But what I thought that they could do with this one that I thought would be interesting is that they could have that science, allow for those codices to be added to it, similarly again to the Nalanda, but they could also do something with the cultural side of things where they could give you different cultural bonuses for different resources or for all of the different leaders that you have met or something like that, because this was a cultural center as much as it was a place of knowledge. And so I felt like this could kind of fit that niche a little more. I've been really into kind of that science, and culture combination, thanks to Ada Lovelace personally. I just think it's such a good one, and this would be, I think, a great wonder, not for her specifically, but this would probably be added to the Greeks. If they wanted to. I know that they already have their own, but I figured, Library at Alexandria could be that. You could even technically add it to Egypt in some way, or even Hatshepsut if you wanted to, as Alexandria was in Egypt. So you could do that. I think it would be really cool, and they could change it from the Great Library, like they're calling it here, to the Library at Alexandria if they wanted it to be a little bit more specific and kind of mix things up. But really and truthfully, it just feels wrong to not have this one in the game, and so I'm calling for them to get it added. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. But we are going to move on to our second one here, which is going to be Stonehenge. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've played a lot of Civ 7, and I just didn't even think about the fact that Stonehenge isn't in the game, and this is another one that is just an all-time classic. Like, how is this not added into the game? It's one of the ancient wonders of the world. It's not technically, I don't think, in that 7 ancient wonders, but it is one that I think is very important. And I put in my notes here, seriously, how did this not get added when I was looking through it? And it's a little disappointing, but I think I understand why. I think it's mainly because of religion. I'll get into that here in a second, but what I do think they could do if they weren't going to focus it on religion is I think they could add it for culture. I think that what they could have is, making sure that it's built on plains or some sort of flat land, and that, it could maybe allow for you to have it, maybe placed, and if there are no during this era, right, if maybe it's like rule tiles or some sort of connection there, and the more rule tiles that you have surrounding it, the more culture that it is going to bring. So you're going to want to look for like an open area for Stonehenge, and maybe that could kind of carry over as well. I don't know. I just really feel like the lack of religion is what's really hurting, wonders like this. It is truly incredible that this is not in Civ 7. And I think that if they were to redo religion from the ground up, in every single era, something that I've been calling for a while, I really do believe that this would be potentially even the first or most important wonder that could get added for religion, and that it could work in a very different way. And maybe it could even, if they were honestly to add this before they do the religion rework, I'm just thinking about this now, they could add it to where it's going to be connected to altars as well in some sort of fashion, to where it's going to maybe buff altars, or give you free altars that you could place in some of your cities or towns in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, but it's something that I think needs to be added. It's just too iconic for us to be going into a new Civ game and not have some of these, and Stonehenge being one of them, I think is a huge disappointment. The last one's going to be a little bit more of a personal one, and maybe you guys are going to feel like I'm dumb and that it shouldn't be in here, but the Temple of Artemis, I think it's such a cool one. Yes, my Greek and Roman, my Greco-Roman, as it is called, history background is probably shining through on this one. I do apologize for that. I love that they have really given me a look into the history and different, major monuments, I will call them, major, places of other areas of the world that I haven't personally studied. But the Temple of Artemis feels like it would fit really well, actually, into Civilization 7, because it is so integral with archery, right? And it could be something that allows you to, once it's placed, get a free archery unit. Maybe it allows you to get free upgrades from your slingers in some way. Maybe it just gives ranged units in Antiquity a buff of some sorts. However it works, I think that would be a really good addition to the game, one that would be pretty unique from what I can remember. At least I haven't used every single wonder in the game just because I haven't qualified for all of them, but this would be another one I think that could very easily be connected to the Greeks in some way, obviously, as this is the Temple of Artemis, or you could just not have it connected to anybody and just have it be in the game. I think that would be fine. I also thought of this one because of the fact that, Artemis is the goddess of the hunt as well. And you can even see here, food was a big part of it with Civ 6, something that I personally really enjoyed. But with the new focus on food with patch 1.2.0, with, I would say the major buff to food as a whole, you also have the new wild game resource being added. So maybe it could give you small bonuses towards food, towards, resources like that. Or maybe it could be that you have to build this one by a wild game or by a wooded area of some kind. Something like that, I think, would really fit well with the Temple of Artemis. And I think it'd be honestly, a really nice addition to the, wonders that we already have in Civilization 7. One that I think, specifically for Antiquity, would fit very well with it. And one that could kind of fit with the military meta as well as we see it right now. So let me know what you guys think, as always, in the comments section below. We really appreciate all of the fantastic people who have been joining us lately, and we love hearing your guys' feedback and trying to adapt to it and see if we can see your point of view. So thank you for all of that. But that is going to wrap it up for us on this one. So from our house to yours, thanks for watching, and we hope you'll join us for one more turn.